What's going on, people? Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Canoe Creative Spotlight. As always, I'm your host, Chris, bringing you the amazing creatives from all over the world that may be near you. And today's no exception, as we're talking to Mr. Reme Morales, a world-traveling photographer and drone operator who has seen, shot, and filmed some of the world's most amazing sights from over 33 countries. We got lucky enough to keep him in one spot long enough to talk to him. So, Reme, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Support the community, love the community.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for being here with us today. As always, the Creative Spotlight is about the creatives and giving you a little time to shine, speak your mind, and share your grind. Let the people know about yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Reme from Queens, New York. I had the opportunity the last 5 years to travel to 33 countries. From that point, photography came into the picture, videos, drones. So, what better way to document your travels than actually have tools to do that? So that's what I've been doing the last 5 years, and I hope to continue it for forever.
Absolutely, bro. It's the type of footage you catch is amazing, bro. Honestly, it's like one of those type of things that offers a whole new perspective of the world and sees things that you would probably never get to see a couple years back. So how exactly did you make that transition from being like a world photographer and then getting into drone operation? Like, how did you do it, and what do you use to do it?
Well, when I first bought my first camera, it was such an exciting time at the time, and I bought the Sony A6500 at first, and I started shooting, and actually I had a GoPro first, and so I was doing video, then I got a camera, and then the transition was pretty easy because once I learned how to use the camera that I had, getting into the drones was like, okay, there's aperture, there's all these little things that are the same on the actual drone that I had first, which is the DJI Phantom 4 Pro. So the transition was pretty cool, pretty chill, but now I'm in the air, so now the perspective is different. It was just that first time just flying a drone and seeing how it was from up there was like the game changer. I knew that was what I wanted to do right away.
Absolutely, man. I remember when we first met, when you were first doing it was much more of a kind of like blocky type of thing, where it's really huge, and then you were able to kind of just get these really slow moving cinematic shots, whereas now you're using like these goggle things and you're able to like zoom past and all these different maneuvers. Like what has changed over the years in just drone technology and making those type of things possible?
Right. So at the time I started, FPV, which is where you fly with the goggles, was already around. But it was so new. It's still very new in a sense. Like things are changing constantly, every week, every month. So, going from the Phantom 4 Pro, which is the big one you're talking about, to where I am at now is such a huge difference. Like you said, the Phantom 4 Pro, the Mavics are very cinematic. You're kind of limited to the way you can control the aircraft. And once I saw what FPV was at some point, I knew that I needed to transition into that at some point to become like an ultimate pilot. Because you have full manual control. Like you said, you can fly through things, you can literally do whatever you want, you can be as creative as you want. You have all control over this, and we build them as well, so it's kind of cool, that you get to pick the parts and what you need and feel it out and tune your aircraft and stuff. Yeah, so going from that to that and being in the goggles just was the game changer, and people now want to see that interaction with nature where you're getting on a tree, you're getting through a tree, you're going through a building, you're going through this, that, they want to see that more than anything else. Trust me, the other ones I still use them. I get hired for gigs for that because they need those slow moving shots, or they need some, just the cinematic feel for that. So for sure, it's still a tool that's there, but FPV is, if any pilots want to get into it, I would say, if you have stick time and you think you can do it, it's like a video game. So it's to compare a little bit, but it's definitely the way to go if I was gonna get into drones, if I was anybody right now.
Yeah, man. I've seen you do it. Obviously, you've seen the footage. I've seen you guys do it, and it looks just like a video game. It looks like you're playing like a VR type of thing, and it's just really dope. I can only imagine what that looks like from in there to kind of be fully immersed in that whole world and from these heights and everything. Obviously you've traveled to over 33 countries. You're always on the go, seeing new people, meeting new cultures and stuff. How would you say, being a drone operator, especially, how would you say people react to that type of thing, especially in places where maybe that technology is foreign to them? And what type of creative connections have you been able to make, like overseas and other places?
Well, just drones in general create attention. I mean, they're pretty noisy at the end of the day. Once somebody sees this robot flying in the air, they're like, what is, you know, uh, Vietnam was pretty cool with Brian, actually. Um, the cool thing about that was we went to like a banana field, and you can see that probably the farmers there don't even own a cell phone, so they're just seeing this like machine flying in the air past their banana trees and stuff. It's pretty cool. But in general, like, the love for it is usually 90% of the time, you're gonna get people to be in love with the drone. Like, wow, what is that? What how fast does it go? Like, they have so many questions. They're so intrigued. And one of the coolest ones was in Thailand. I was on the border of Laos and Thailand up north, and these gentlemen, just like 10 of them, are just surrounding me while I'm flying the drone. They're so interested in it. Even though there's a language barrier, with your eyes, you can still see what something is. So that's an amazing thing to connect with other people out there. And in terms of connections, I mean, there's so many good photographers out there, right, with a camera. I mean, just travel photographers, or there's some beasts out there. But when it comes to the drone, it's like it adds another layer to connecting with people. So I feel like it's just been really crazy, the amount of people that I've been able to connect with because of the drone, in a sense, more than the camera. People are more intrigued by the drone. So yeah, the connections are endless around the world due to that. And so, for example, in I was in Lisbon, in Portugal, and I was just flying my drone literally outside of my Airbnb. I'm trying to get some views and stuff. And this guy comes up to me with a little dog, and he's like super intrigued by it, just watching the drone fly and all this. I land, and then we start speaking. And I find that he's Cuban, actually. He moved to Portugal like 20 years prior to that. And this was about 3 years ago. And he literally, from that point, was like, have you been here before? I was like, no. He literally took me everywhere in Lisbon that was the best places in Lisbon to go to, and then to shoot with the drone as well. So it was pretty dope to like see even people that are not creatives go ahead and say, hey, like let's go hang out, let's go do this, let me show you around my side over here, so you can go back home with that footage and show how beautiful this place is to other people as well. So
Yeah, it seems like being a drone operator or just a photographer in general seems to be kind of like a cultural icebreaker, just a way to pull people's interest in and make them feel a little bit more comfortable with you, and you feel more comfortable with them. Uh, that type of thing is usually what deters people from traveling outside of the country and breaking outside of their own comfort zone. It's just that unfamiliarity, and it's really dope that you have a way in, and it's probably what has excelled you to be the world traveler that you are. Being in the world that you're in, obviously, as a photographer and drone operator, you've obviously met a lot of great people. And have you made any great business connections? Anyone that is recurring in your life to this day?
yeah, of course. I mean, it might not be just a business connection, but it can be a human connection, in a sense in which, like, I have friends all over the world now that know that I fly drones, and they support it. And at the same time, when I need to be where they are, let's say, or I want to go where they are, they're there to show me around. They make the time. It's just amazing to have friends all over the world they're going to be able to like show you. You might not know them for your whole entire life, but no matter what, it's a friendship that would be forever, in a sense. But in terms of business connections, yeah, of course. I mean, I have my friend Manoon in Thailand, who's like, last year alone, I was in Thailand 6 times, and he was helping me make money over there, by putting me onto certain things. We were shooting hotels, we were shooting different locations.
The
My other
boxers, I
friend
think I
Juan,
remember saw.
yeah, the Muay Thai gym.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So Thailand is probably my biggest connection in terms of countries outside of the U.S. Where like I would definitely have business connections in terms of shooting with the drone or with photography or whatnot.
Nah, dude. I mean, you're definitely an international guy. Like, we all know it. As we always see it, and we respect it because that's just a way to really not just expand what you do, but make valid connections with people from different cultures. You get all this great footage that you would probably not get here in the States. Are there any type of I know you've been to so many different places, but are there still places on your list of places you want to go and shoot?
I mean, there's the list is endless because I've only been doing FPV 7 months now, right? So think about it, like this whole COVID-19 happened, and I've only been to 2 countries since COVID happened, and that's when I started FPV technically. So I've only been able to fly 2 countries with it. So I want to replay almost everything I've already been to. I want to go to China still. I mean, there's like crazy views there. Turkey, China, New Zealand, back to Iceland, I mean, these are just like a couple that I'm naming, but FPV there's just endless opportunity to shoot amazing stuff anywhere. So I want to go everywhere, everywhere.
I don't blame you, bro. I mean, I definitely understand that though, because I mean, this is like a whole new aspect of of being able to shoot environments. So I could imagine you like, doing exactly what you said, like going back to places you've already been, probably a lot, and getting all this new type of footage that you probably weren't able to get before. Um, yeah, man. So I mean, like, what's on the horizon for you right now? Obviously, COVID has shut down a lot of things for us, and it's made things really difficult. But like, what are some things that you're looking forward to in the near future? Anything you have set up in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, right. Just this past few days, we were able to shoot with the new GoPro. Like, it's pretty crazy. So that's coming out. Like, that's gonna be out there for everybody to see. Um, and I mean, technically, I'm kind of on the go right now. It's the way everything is so, you just don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just kind of going with the flow, and I just hope that the opportunities keep coming in where this thing might set up this thing, and this thing might set up that thing, and then start traveling again with the FPV or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be stuff. I shoot almost every week, almost every day, something that I have in the back burner, so like I can bring out there for posts and stuff. So definitely, I mean, we're shooting. Actually, we're gonna shoot some parkour guys.
Mm,
So
that could be
that's
really
the next
dope. With
project.
that, yeah.
Yeah. So some FPV with some parkour in some abandoned places. So it's gonna be pretty dope. And these kids are really good. So I'm excited for that.
That sounds dope, man. That sounds dope, bro. I know that you ain't gonna let this get in your way. Obviously, the real creatives out there are pushing and finding new ways to do what they've always done. So I always love watching your journey, watching you grow, and watching you advance, bro. It's really been dope to see what you've been able to come up with. Thanks so much for coming through here with me and spending some time sharing some knowledge about what you do. I'm sure people are gonna be looking you up, so make sure you check out Reme. Thanks again, brother. I appreciate you.
Thanks for the opportunity, man.
But that's going to be it for the second episode of the Canoe Creative Spotlight. Thanks again to Reme for dropping in and talking to us. And make sure you keep up with him and all the links we provided down below. As for us, you know what we need you to do. Leave us a like, subscribe to our channel, and download Canoe if you haven't already to make sure that you are always connected to the creators near you. This has been Chris from Canoe, telling you to always and forever connect, collab, create.